Yes, another episode. Landing in your ears like an unwelcome ball of wax, my friends.
You're a bit like the Midlands Dr. Dre there.
Okay.
And on to the next episode. And you just went, yes, another episode. It's kind of, it's on the
It's a similar thing.
It is.
Lyrically similar.
Yeah,
we grew
physically.
up in lots of ways, in similar areas. Socioeconomically, we both ran with gangs.
Yeah.
I ran with the tidy towns, Eden tidy towns. Cleaning up roundabouts.
Laugh on the streets.
Yeah.
Of Eden Derry with a rubbish picker.
Yeah, polishing the Lions Club black.
With a luminous jacket.
Luminous jacket with my rubbish up pickers. Do you remember we said before on the last episode about we speak fewer words?
Yes.
We speak less, therefore we speak fewer words. And I had a fact that it's going to bleed in.
Okay.
It's going to bleed into this because we normally don't do facts in the bonus episode. Do you do small talk?
Yeah, an awful lot of small talk.
Do you think it's good for you or bad for you?
I think it's a very useful skill.
You're exactly right. It is a very useful skill. And that's very interesting. Now, of course, we should emphasize that you don't do this out of politeness or the goodness of your heart. You are usually you're too cheap to pay for Duolingo. So you basically just find people from overseas with a different lingua franca than you.
I do.
And then you use them.
Like so much so that...
You have different people, like a Spanish dude, like in the
so
car park,
a couple
and
of
then
Cuban
a Russian
guys.
guy.
A Cuban and a Colombian in the car park.
Okay.
I have a Lithuanian in work. I have a Brazilian on security. I have a Latvian who speaks Russian on security. And then I recently found in Dunn's a lady who used to be my cleaner when we had small kids and needed a cleaner. We had her for like 3 months.
Yeah.
Is a Latvian who lives in Portmarnock who speaks Russian.
Yeah.
I found that she works in Dunn's.
You sound like you're ICE. Do you know that? You're basically going around.
I found a Latvian.
Looking for papers of people.
But I went to queue up in Dunn's to go talk to my Latvian friend.
Yeah.
And then a woman walked past me and said, "Do you want to go to number 5?" And I went, "No, I'm going to go and talk because I want to talk to my friend here who works there." And she goes, "You know Marina?" I was like, "Yeah, I know Marina." She's like, "Okay." So I walked up and I started chatting to her in Russian.
Right.
A couple of people I know were on the other side of the tills. They were looking over going, "What's going on there?" I'm thinking I'm great now because I'm chatting in Russian.
Yeah.
And then I said to her, "It's so great now that I can speak Russian to you." And she goes, "Oh, but you know your woman who just said to you, do you want to use number 5? She's from Kazakhstan." I was like, "No way."
Really?
So I shouted over to her and I was starting Russian to her. And then she goes, "Oh," and then this girl walks past and sits down to work at the next checkout desk, and she goes, she's from Latvia and she speaks Russian as well. So there's been 2 women in there who for years I've known to see, who I didn't know spoke Russian. Only when my Russian speaking friend started working there, I've now discovered I could have been speaking Russian the whole time.
I'm surprised by all that. I knew you spoke Russian, and I think the first time I ever found out that you spoke Russian is, do you remember when we were out looking at those underseas cables? Remember that we took the submersible. We took the submersible. We looked at the undersea cables, and then you said, "Listen, treat Salisbury Cathedral." Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So
they were the only.
They were the good old days.
They were the good old days.
Nobody has found out. My handler hasn't. My friend hasn't figured out that I speak Russian yet. Well, you're right. It's actually very good for you socially, and where people don't like doing small talk, some people certainly, and we've spoken about this before. Certain cultures don't like it. It is invariably better than you think it is. So they did a study, and they did it across 3 different countries.
Right.
The US, France, and Singapore.
Okay.
So it's not a cultural fluke was the phrase used. Okay. And this is only recently published in April. They had 1,800 total participants, and they got the participants, and they were told to talk about topics that they rated as boring.
Okay.
World War I and II, vegan diet, Pokemon, maths, hobbies, or routines. Can I suggest, if you think World War II was boring, you're a moron of some sort.
Pokemon is boring. It's one of the most exciting things in the universe.
And then Poland was invaded by the Nazis. Boring.
Okay, the Germans took on the Russians in wintertime. It's so dull with no stories to tell.
When they just did the same mistake as Napoleon.
D-Day, the Normandy landings. I mean, nothing is... The Blitzkrieg, boring. boring.
Innumerable acts of heroism. Is there anything more tedious than people sacrificing themselves for the good of others? Operation.
But also, evolutions in Pokemon. I mean, there's some of those exciting things that's ever happened
You're
to
just
anyone.
saying words that I've no idea.
I use a lot of words.
So basically, they got people, those 1,800 people, to rate topics as done, okay?
Sure.
And then it said, you're going to have a conversation about that. But I want you to predict how much you're going to enjoy the conversation about a topic you've already deemed
said
boring.
It's boring, yeah.
After making those predictions, they actually had the conversations. It lasted a few minutes.
Sure.
And then they rated how interesting and enjoyable they actually were. Some talked to their friends.
Yeah.
Some talked to strangers. Some met in person. Some did it in Zoom. All of them pretty much said
Rated them.
much more enjoyable than I thought. With one exception. Participants didn't actually talk in one experiment. They read or watched a conversation about the dull topic instead, and they found that
dull, right.
So what it actually shows you is that it's being part of the conversation that is the enjoyable part. This is what they think. So the researchers draw the distinction between the static part of the conversation and the dynamic part. The static part is the topic. You go, Dave's going to talk about guitars. I'm going to run a hot bath and open my wrists.
Yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen.
But
then you get into it, and then you see the enthusiasm in the other person.
Yes.
You see how smiley they are.
In fact, can I draw you back to the last episode when I told you about Mark Wahlberg's Wahlburger Runners?
Yeah.
Surely to God, on paper, if I told you that I was going to tell you
say sneakers, and I'm gone.
A rapper's sneakers,
yeah.
you just be like, oh God. But it was genuinely, I hope, slightly interesting.
It was interesting because you are thinking on your feet.
Yeah.
You are communicating with somebody.
Yeah.
You're seeing, like, there's repartee. There is a wit. There's warmth and all the rest. And in the vast majority of cases, it's going to go better than you think. A lot of people particularly are socially anxious these days. Have a chat.
Yeah.
If it's not debilitating, have a chat. You invariably... It
Come
will go better
on the
than
other
you
side.
think it will go. And it's important about connections and human interactions.
We have different lives. You, I guess, have small talk with, for example, other comics in a venue before you go on, or a promoter.
I would
or
classify
someone.
that as 100% weapons grade plutonium level bitchiness is what I would. That's not small talk. Small talk is the cafe owner down the road.
Okay, yeah, but also you go out on stage and effectively have performative small talk with the audience when you do a bit of interaction before you launch into your show.
Yeah.
Like, I work in an office. I know I work on the radio and I have small talk with listeners, but I work in an office where I have accountants and marketing people and salespeople and other presenters and producers and managers and whatever. I'm nothing but small talk. Like, I walk out to go to the bathroom from my exotically cool, amazing, award-winning, ratings-topping radio show, and I have to go, Jesus, John, how are things? Yeah. How's the weather today? We're both going to the bathroom at the same time. Brilliant. We'll both stand at the urinals and have a chat. Great. So how's the family anyway? Yeah, like, open the lift. I could be.
Lifts are very bad for us. Or very good for us.
Yeah, but that's, I suppose, what the point you're making, which is interesting, is the stuff that you go, oh God, I'm going to be in the lift now with this person. It might be the best conversation you have all day.
Yeah.
If you don't try, you're not going to know.
Yeah, I do really enjoy that. I mean, it's this weird thing of people talking about, people say, crowd work comedians, And of course, the reason people do crowd work is because it's instant and you're not giving away your show.
Yeah.
But it also, it's an interaction that can be enjoyable. I have been doing it, and lots of people I know have been doing it long before people clipped it up.
Yes.
And put it online or anything like that. So it's useful in its own sense. I had a midwife. Did I tell you this? There was a midwife the other day, and I was talking to her, and I said, our husbands, are they useless?
Yeah.
I should say fathers, not husbands necessarily. Our father is useless at the birth. And she said, to a man, absolutely useless at the birth, except for farmers, she said. I'm like, really good, yeah. Like, they'll grab a leg. they'll start pulling it out.
It's lambing season.
Getting something to lick it. Lick that clean there. I think that's how we go. And we go again. Do you know what I mean? And I never would have learned about that except through that particular circumstance.
Yeah, that is wild.
And then I told you about the woman I had recently in Gorey, and I said, what do you do? Where were you from? And she goes, Transylvania. And she was a psychotherapist. And it was a brilliant conversation. I'm really annoyed. I think I said this to you at the time. I'm really annoyed that I skipped over Gorey
Yes.
Of all the vampire places that are
in Ireland,
that somebody
yeah.
could have lived. But like that interaction, I absolutely
Yeah, it's very
love.
important, and obviously, you look, from your professional point of view, it's an amazing skill to have a small talk conversation end in a punchline.
Yeah.
That's what everyone hopes for at the dinner party, at the christening, at the barbecue.
Yeah.
That you'll say the funniest thing of the night.
And then walk away. Run away immediately.
Exactly. Whereas you're doing this 8 times in a row with small talk people in the front of a venue. It is incredible.
Well, I had a guy the other night in Bangor, and I said, "What you doing?" He goes, "No, I'm an accountant." And normally everybody just kind of goes like this, but I've done this podcast, and I was like, "Sit back and let me explain sexy prime to you," as I channeled
Numbers
Dave's.
galore.
And nobody else liked that, but that man genuinely got excited to the extent towards the end. I think he crossed his legs, and I don't know why, but he didn't want me to see something. I
fair
think. I was going to tell you other things, but
No,
we can
that's plenty.
save that for,
That's plenty.
for the next bonus.
Let's do it.